Through his performances with the group, Björn Ulvaeus has been winning over ABBA fans all around the world. He is the best known for his amazing musical compositions that catapulted the band to the pinnacles of its fame. The band's eventual internal conflict was unavoidable. This was the case with Ulvaeus and his wife, Agnetha Fältskog, who performed with him in ABBA. The two are renowned for their breathtaking discography on stage, but all that glitters is not gold, because beneath that exterior was a rancid odor of discontent and animosity. Before he met ABBA, Björn Ulvaeus was a member of the Swedish band Hooten Singers. By chance, he met Benny Andersson of the Hep Stars, and the two became lifelong friends. They united on their love of music and composition and envisioned forming a band together. They frequently collaborated on music production or assisted each other's bands in the studio. Ulvaeus was content with this arrangement, but he still desired something more, and his prayers were eventually answered. On a set while filming a nostalgic television special in 1969, he met a young woman named Agnetha Fältskog, whom he was instantly enthralled with. She was only 18 at the time, had just performed her first solo single, and was relatively inexperienced, but she shared his love of music and was a wonderful singer, which sparked a connection between them unlike any other OAS. He believed he had found his soulmate, and thus started a relationship that would soon be the cause of both their greatest triumphs and their most agonizing setbacks for Fältskog and Ulvaeus' love at first sight was no longer a myth, and they felt like they were two peas in a pod. From the moment they met, it was obvious that their interests aligned, and they wanted the same things in life despite the gaps between their ages and experience. They were committed and planning to get married, dreaming of a blissful life together where they would be singing by each other's side to their heart's content. They had their wedding on July 6, 1971 in the village of Virum, with Andersson performing the organ, and promised one another a lifetime of love and support. They had a beautiful first few years of the relationship and became parents to two children, their daughter Linda in 1973 and their son Peter in 1977. Their happiness, it appeared, though, had only begun during this time. Andersson and Ulvaeus had been running their partnership, and their duo was titled Björn Benny, but there had been something missing all along. When Faltskog came into the picture, they understood that the band had needed another member, and soon it was complete, with Andersson's girlfriend Annie Fred Lingard joining the band, and hence the two couples formed ABBA, a partnership that was about to reach iconic heights. Naturally, ABBA was extremely successful, with songs reaching international charts and fans all over the world eager to see their favorite artists perform. Their first single, People Need Love, was extremely popular, especially when compared to their small label, and their win at the 1974 Eurovision contest sealed the deal. Soon after, they were traveling the world and playing in various cities, with many of their performances breaking charts. However, amid all of this success, something sinister was brewing, and it so happened in the marriage between Björn Ulvaeus and Agnetha Fältskog. There were many things going on beneath the surface that fans and even those around them were unaware of, and some of these were revealed in the wake of their relationship going up in flames. But it doesn't mean there weren't any warning signs before the first one appeared, when the two returned from their trip following the Eurovision competition and discovered their daughter had forgotten who they were. OAS said they had to go away for almost a month, and when they came back, it was tough to see that their kid would not come to them. The band wanted them, and their children wanted them, and it felt like they could not give their full to either. And when they tried, the others suffered horribly, and their children were not the only ones who suffered. What came in between the most was their marriage, and so it happened that it took the brunt of their burdens too. It was hard for them to be together, as it was because of their intense popularity, which led them to be on the receiving end of many outrageous gestures by fans. Sometimes the attention got so much that Fältskog suffered night terrors, where she feared her fans would come and take away everything that was there. During these times, Ulvaeus tried to be her rock, but it was evident that the expectations were getting to him as well, and their marriage was slowly crumbling because of the pressure. The final blow came along in the late 70s when the band reported their highest success together, and the combined pressure was too much to handle for the couple. They separated from each other in the early 1979 and began to live away, officially filing for divorce in 1980. Although divorce itself is incredibly taxing, they had to put on a brave face and reported that they had a happy divorce to their fans, who could not understand what was happening. They acted like everything was fine on camera, but their music said other. Wise, which formed the beginning of the ultimate breakup song for all ABBA fans. Hence Björn Ulvaeus began writing the lyrics of Winner Takes It All, the music that would become a chart-topping hit and one of their last gifts together to the world. For his writing process for the song, he always had a bottle of brandy next to him, even though he did not use drugs or alcohol for writing songs, but the process for that one was incredibly personal and painful. He told the London Times March 26, 2010 that while usually it's not a good idea to write when you are drunk, it all came out on that one. By the time he had written The Gods May Throw Their Dice, the bottle was empty. The difficult part came when he had to run it by his now ex-wife, Agnetha, which was jarringly vulnerable when the time came to perform on stage. Sog Sayang, but tell me, does she kiss like I used to kiss you, making the audience erupt and ending a once beautiful relationship for good or not. Reality was not as poetic as the song and turned dark soon after the performance. In 1981, Ulvaeus began to date another woman whom he married and went on to have 2 more kids with, which was incredibly disturbing for Fältskog. She wrote in her 1997 book, As I Am, we always told the media that it was a happy divorce, which of course was a front. Obviously, we all know there are no such things as happy divorces, especially when there are children involved. She had to go into therapy for a long time and learn to cope with the end of their tumultuous relationship, especially broken because it looked like Ulvaeus was doing just fine, but that was not the case at all. It turns out that the separation was as hard on him as anyone else, and perhaps he was just better at masking it or using music as a catharsis. He said that going through divorce as difficult as anyone would know who's done it. That was of course taking up my thoughts. Then referencing his song, he continued, but there was not one winner. In the case of us, the divorce had taken a hit on both of them and the rest of the band, who were going through their own separation, and this resulted in ABBA finally parting ways in 1982. After a decade-long successful career together, it appeared that things had finally grown too somber, and as Ulvaeus said, the band had an explosive story and a creative period, but then it all suddenly stopped with everyone except him and Anderson going their separate ways. As of now, they have recently come together to produce new songs, which were featured in a virtual tour with avatars in 2021. A documentary has also been released on the band titled ABBA Against the Odds, which features their stories in complicated interpersonal relationships. Now 79 Baron, everything begins with a song, according to Ola in the band's documentary. I believe that great music is formed from the human experience. They continue to sing together for old time's sake, inspiring fans and critics worldwide. What is your favorite ABBA breakup song? Tell us in the comments below. Deep emotions. Writing a lyric is something in between a poem and a melody. It would sometimes evoke not only a mood but also images in me.